Hi, my name is Anna and I'm from Ottawa, Canada. I've been using HomeExchange for the last 3 years and we have over 23 exchanges. I can say we're addicted to this new way of traveling and discovering the world. I'll never forget our first exchange. It was in Portugal, and we had this beautiful home, and we had to take care of 5 cats, which we thought would be an easy job, but turns out it wasn't too easy because I was a bit scared because one of the cats didn't come back at night, so I had to message the host and ask if that's okay. In the end, the cat came back and we had a lovely stay. So that's just a nice story to tell. Our first experience hosting someone, again, it was very nice. I was stressed at the beginning because I was like, okay, so we have this person from Germany coming here to stay with his son. So what's gonna happen? Nothing happened. That person was such a really nice guy who took care of our home, and actually we connected next year when he came back to visit his son, and we invite him over for some traditional food. So that's what we try to do. It's just keep some of those relationships, and when time comes, we meet again, and that's one thing to remember. And last year another thing happened that I really enjoyed is we hosted a family from Italy, and when I looked at the name of the one of the guests, it was very similar to a very popular name from my original country, which is Moldova. So when I asked that person if she is from around Moldova, she said yes. So we start speaking the same language, which is Romania. So when they came to Canada, I was eager to meet them. So I made a traditional soup, and we all stay at the table and enjoy a nice meal. And we keep in touch now, and we're going to Italy this summer, and we'll stop at their place for a day just to kind of have lunch together and connect. So there is no way for us going back to more of a traditional way to do vacations, because now every time we think of going somewhere, the first thing I do is open HomeExchange and see what's out there, who wants to come here. If I have to share some of the tips on how to make this experience enjoyable, is you have to be open. You have to let yourself be surprised. Anytime I open an email and I see a request, I always just look and say, I never went there. So what are the options? I don't say no from the beginning. We are very open. We just, try to be flexible. I try not to panic too much when we have to host someone. We try to keep our house clean most of the time, and when somebody comes to our place, we try to just make the beds, do everything to be tidy, but I don't want to stress too much and just make this as a job, so then it's not enjoyable for me, it's not enjoyable for my family. So we just try to go as easy as possible, keep the house clean as and because my clean will not be someone's clean. So that's one thing that I try also to understand when I go to somebody else's house. I try not to judge too much, because maybe for someone that's their way of living, it's not mine, so I can't judge that. And I just am grateful for having that person allowing me to stay in their place and respect that, and I'm very grateful for that. So in a way, I can't, like, every time I talk to somebody, I tell them about HomeExchange and how nice it is, and I just hope, in a way, more people join. But at the same time, I know if more people join, it's becoming harder. But that's kind of the beauty, anytime I go now by the idea that if the person that needs to stay in my home, they will, stars will align and everything will happen for a reason, and they will just be able to stay in my home. And if it doesn't happen, then it wasn't meant for them to stay or to be our guests. So thank you again, HomeExchange, for giving us this opportunity, and I'm looking forward for my next 3 exchanges that are coming in the next few months. All the best from Ottawa, and feel free to visit us. Thanks.